the video. MLB The Show 22 is finally here, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you guys some hitting tips that I guarantee will make you a better hitter. So the very first thing I want to talk about are something that's called control freaks, right? That is something that you add to your controller, right? I only have one on my left stick. I don't use one for pitching. I kind of like just a classic PS5 analog for pitching. But for hitting, I have a control freak that is a CQC. This is another CQC, right? You see how this one's kind of more like, you can see, this one's kind of more flatter, and this one has like a little circle. So they're both CQCs. I think one of them's like a mid-rise and one of them's a high-rise. So this one's a little bit higher than this one. You kind of just get them on Amazon. For these, they're all preference, right? So I've been kind of using this specific control freak for, I want to say, 4 or 5 years now. I don't know how it still lasted 4 or 5 years, but this is definitely my favorite control freak. Some people like the flatter edge. I'm trying to show you guys like the best way you can see, but like it's kind of unclear. But like this one has like a flatter edge with a little a couple little bumps on it, so it gives you like a better grip. And this one's way more smooth at the top. So if you go on Amazon, you look up control freaks, or I think it's controlfreak.com, you can find some different options of control freaks. Again, it's all preference, but it will definitely make you a better hitter to get a kind of control freak. It makes the precision when you're moving the PCI way more smooth and easier. So definitely before this video ends or after this video ends, right, go to controlfreak.com and go get some control freaks for you. I wish I had a code for it so I can give you guys a code. If you guys know my boy Kyle, your friend Kyle, you can go check his code out, YFK, and I think you get like 20 or 30% off. Next, I want to talk about settings. So this is the main menu of MLB The Show 22. There's a notification in the way right now, but you go to the top right and there's settings, right? So you click on settings, you go to your settings, you go to gameplay, and this is where all your settings are going to be, right? Your hitting, your pitching, your fielding. We'll get into the pitching settings and all that at another time. We're only talking about hitting in this video, right? The hitting difficulty doesn't matter. You're going to be playing on Diamond Dynasty, so whatever difficulty you're on in ranked seasons or BR you're going to be playing in, right? BR is only all-star ranked seasons, goes from veteran to legend. So hitting view, this is an absolute must. You have to do this strike zone view, right? There's strike zone, there's strike zone 2, strike zone 3. Any variation of strike zone you have to use in Diamond Dynasty. And you're going to say, Adam, why do I have to use one of those views? If you want to play this game at any competitive level, strike zone view is just the wave, right? Because it's the easiest way to see curveballs. It's the easiest way to catch up the fastballs because you're really close in on the batter, compared to like something where if you're gonna hit with like offset or offset zoom, you're extremely far away from the plate and you just will never be able to time up a fastball, especially an outlier fastball, and you won't be able to get it to a curveball or a slider or a changeup or anything like that. So I promise you, use any variation of strike zone view. My preference is just strike zone. I just like the way it feels and the way I can kind of see pitches. Next, I want to talk about in-play view offense. So what that means is when you put a ball in play, the camera goes to that specific camera, right? So if you go high, it's going to show high. If you go to broadcast, it's going to show broadcast, so on and so forth, right? I like to put this on high. So basically the reason why I do this, right? Again, this is kind of all preference here. You can use whatever you want. The reason why I like high is I hit balls over the outfielder's heads or in the gaps. This specific camera angle kind of gives me an advantage where I can see whether it's going to go over the outfielder's head or not. So if I hit a line drive over the right fielder's head, I can tell right off the bat that it's going to be over the head, so it gives me a better jump off the bases, right? So if I guy at first, I can maybe send it to third or possibly score. So that's why I kind of use in-play view offense on high. But again, that's another thing that's just preference. If you want to use medium, you can use medium. Hitting interface is literally the most important part of this whole video. You have 3 different options. You have zone interface, you have directional, and you have timing. Completely disregard directional and timing. You have to use zone if you want to play this game, not only competitively, but if you want to play this game online, if you want to play this game versus friends, you have to use zone, right? I'm going to go more into zone when I go into custom practice and show you. But basically what zone is you have your own PCI, right? So I have a player with 50 power. I can move my PCI, I can take a perfect swing with him, and I can basically use all of his 50 power. if you're on directional, all you do is press X, right? So basically to hit, if he throws a slider, if he throws a fastball, all I gotta do is press X. The problem with that is you're not getting the most out of your player like you are with zone. Again, I'm gonna go into it more into detail when I show you guys how to move your PCI and all that. This is something brand new to MLB The Show 22. You have the PCI anchor. I think this is something really, really cool. I don't know if it's my cup of tea, but it's definitely something that's gonna help beginners out. So basically what this is, you have 9 dots on your screen and you can anchor your PCI to anywhere to those 9 dots, right? So if you want to stay and keep your PCI up and in, you basically tap L3 up and in, and you can keep your PCIs directly there instead of down the middle. I'm gonna go more into that when I go into hitting again. And last but not least, you have your PCI, right? And when you go to zone, you have your own PCI. There's a couple different options here. My favorite PCI and what I recommend you use at first is diamonds and wedge. You have your outer on none. You have the color whatever you want, the transparency or whatever you want, and then you have the fade out on none. So you're only gonna have the outer PCI and the 3 diamonds. I just think it's the easiest way to see the ball. If you don't want the wedge, you can just turn that off and you'll only have the diamonds. But when you get to the upper difficulties, it gets kind of small. So just to make the PCI a little bit bigger, I use diamond and wedge. Something I completely forgot to talk about is playing this game on a monitor compared to a TV. If you're playing this game on a TV, you most likely have a very delayed input, and what that means is when you press X, it does not use the input right away, and you're probably a second or 2 behind after you press X. So if you find yourself being late on a lot of fastballs, even a lot of off-speed pitches, it's probably because you probably have a bad response time on your TV and it's not on the game settings, and some TVs just don't have the game settings. So again, I keep talking about if you want to play this game competitively or you want to play this game online, 98% of the community have a monitor. You have to go get one. You can get a 144 hertz monitor, 24 inches with a 1 ms response time, probably for about $100, $150. I know they could be kind of expensive, but if you do want to get better at this game, that is definitely the place to start. Go get yourself a monitor. I would not tell anyone to go spend their hard-earned money if it was not worth it. Promise you, this will take your game up a notch right now. Before you even look at any of my hitting tips, before anything like that, if you get yourself a monitor, you instantly become a better hitter. So maybe you just want to look into that. If you can't, you can't. It just is what it is at that point, right? You can work with what you got. But if you have the means to do it, go out, get yourself a monitor. I promise you, you will thank me later. So we got the settings out of the way. It is now time to go to custom practice. Custom practice, it's a huge tool that they have in this game. So you get the chance to pick 2 teams, right? What I like to do is choose the legend teams, because you get like glitchier pitches, right? So let's choose the mid-century groundbreakers, and we'll choose another legend team. We'll choose the boomers, right? So we'll use the boomers. We'll go to any stadium. I like to play and ship it, so we'll go to ship it here. They also, oh, it's not, the elevation's not here. Okay, so we'll go to ship it. We'll just make it clear sky, 7 o'clock October, so it's dark out. Again, practice is a huge tool, right? It is such an underrated thing that even I need to kind of utilize more, and I don't see a lot of people utilizing it at all. So we jumped into custom practice. We make ourselves hit, right? So you go to practice type, you press batting to go hit. We're gonna change the hitter. I'm gonna use Griffey seems pretty good. And then I like to choose a pitcher that has a sinker and a cutter. Those are what you call meta pitches in this game. Meta pitches are basically just the best pitch in the game. They're the hardest ones to hit, and a lot of pitchers have them. So you kind of should get used to hitting sinkers and cutters. Let's kind of find a pitcher that has both. Does no one have both on this team? Of course no one's gonna have both, right? Yeah, of course no one has both, so we'll just pick someone else. Definitely not the knuckleballer. Raleigh Fingers, right? Raleigh Fingers is usually always gets like a 96, 97 overall. Glitchy card. This is something really cool here. You see pitch requests, right? There's 4 different options. They're all checked. You have the sinker, you have the slider, you have the forkball, and you have the 4-seam fastball. What that means, if I start practice right now, he has the option of throwing any 4 of those pitches, right? So that was a forkball. We rolled it over. Good location. What I recommend you doing, especially at first, is going to batting and unselecting a couple of these and just facing like a sinker, a slider. As you play this game more, you'll start kind of understanding what pitches you can hit, what pitches you can't hit, and that's what you want to practice, right? Not only that, if you look at the bottom left, there's 9 different zones right here. So if I want to only face sinkers up and in, I can only select that zone. I press start practice, and now he's only going to throw sinkers up and in. You can kind of sit on it and you can kind of learn how to react and so on and so forth. So that's something really cool that they added last year. It's an awesome feature. I think it needs to be used a lot more. So let's uncheck that though. Now again, I want to talk about zone. This is what zone hitting is. You see my PCIs right there? That is the definition of zone hitting, right? So you have your PCI and you can move it wherever you want, specifically to the ball, right? You see I'm tracking the ball. I drop my PCI. You see it at the bottom left. That's a PCI. So when you go to zone hitting, that's the difference between that and I go to directional, right? Or time. I think time is new, but I go to directional, you won't have the PCI there, and just the way I hit is with X. But as of course he throws the ball when I need him to throw a strike. Come on, Raleigh, you can do it, buddy. There it is. You see how I missed that? I don't have total control of my hitting abilities without using zone. So again, use zone. If you're not good at it, just keep playing this game, keep practice, and if you keep slowly doing it, I promise you, you will get better. But one amazing way that I have found that will instantly get you better, okay, instantly is the wrong word, because it does take time. It's very hard to hit in this game, don't get me wrong, especially at Hall of Fame and Legends, super hard. What you do is you go to options and you turn the difficulty lower. So say I am an all-star player. I'm going to go to all-star. I'm going to turn it on. You're now going to have all-stars pitch speeds. And what you're going to do is you're just going to track the pitches. You're not going to press X at all. All you're going to do is focus on moving your zone, right? So I'm going to look at zone and I'm going to have my PCI there. You saw how it was right there perfectly? That's all you got to do. You track the ball without even worrying about hitting. You're going to keep doing that. When you're able to start tracking the ball and you're like, okay, my PCI is starting to get to the ball, I feel confident now. What you're going to do is start pressing X to also hit. You're going to go, you're going to have your ball, you square up, and I mean, that might have been a line out to left field, but it was a great swing, right? Either way. You're going to keep doing that over and over and over again until you're like, okay, now that I think I'm confident in my abilities on hitting on All-Star, and then you move it up to Hall of Fame. And again, you can do this on any difficulty, right? If you are literally a beginner, you just pick this game up for the very first time, you can start on rookie. But I promise you, if you do this for, I mean, you don't even got to do it long, 15 to 20 minutes a day, you just learn how to track every pitch. You go to different pitchers, you use righties, you use lefties, you use guys that have sliders, you use guys who use cutters. I mean, I guarantee, I 100% guarantee if you do this method, you will become a better hitter. That's all you got to do. And again, once you're better on rookie, you go to veteran. Once you understand how to do it on veteran, you go to all-star, all the way up to legend. Then you're going to be going on online. You're going to start kicking my ass. This is the way it goes, right? But it's just something small that I used to really do when I first, before I even streamed, before I made content. I used to do this 15, 20 minutes a day, and I think that really helped me become the hitter that I am today. So after you practice all of that and now you're feeling pretty confident in your abilities to hit, it is now time to hit. But not only hit, something that is very overlooked is situational hitting. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to team practice. I'm going to put a guy at third base and we're going to hit with a guy at third base. So a lot of guys online, what they do is kind of just swing at everything. And that's a terrible approach. If I have a guy at third, I want to look in one spot and one spot only. I want to look anywhere where I feel comfortable that I can hit the ball, right? That pitch is a dot. If I swing at that, it's a ground ball, and I'm probably just hitting the first base. And if he has the infield in, he could throw me out. Like, things like that. So what I'm looking for is a ball up in the zone. That's obviously a ball. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for anything over the middle of the plate, anything that I can drive to the outfield to score this runner. So let's see if he's going to throw me one. I mean, that's literally the perfect pitch. That is exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking up in the zone. He throws the sinker right there. We hit a perfect. It's something that's just such a small part of this game. Obviously, if you play baseball, you know situational hitting. I know what that is, but a lot of people just overlook it in these video games. And when I am facing somebody and they have a guy at third with less than 2 outs, I'm always throwing balls, right? I'm throwing sliders inside, cutters inside, sinkers inside. I'm trying to make them take a bad swing. If you take those pitches and you're just looking for something over the zone, you can win so many games because you're scoring so many more runs than your opponent. It's just something, again, that's just so overlooked that if you keep really practicing these issues, you're going to get better and better and better, and soon enough, you're going to be hitting World Series. So here we go. This is with the PCI anchor. You see the 9 small dots. I mean, Raleigh is just a freaking pitching machine. Slow down, Raleigh. Here you go. You see you have 9 dots. My the middle one is selected. So that means just like when I have the anchor off, no matter where I move my PCI right now, if I let go, it's gonna drop to the middle. If you are someone that has trouble hitting pitches up and in and you just can't keep your PCI there, if you tap L3, I mean, I am so sick of Raleigh just throwing pitches so fast instantly. Raleigh, give me some time. Here we go. I select it. So what you do is you tap L3 and you put it up to the right, and you'll have it up and into a lefty. You can change it for every hitter. If you have trouble hitting, really what I'm trying to say here, I'm just speaking too fast. What I'm trying to say here is wherever you feel uncomfortable, you can kind of keep the anchor there. And now, as soon as I don't hold R2, the PCI is going to stay there, even with my hands not on the controller. So no matter what, it's there. I can still move it, right? I can still move it freely, but if I let go, it's going to go instantly back to that spot. I do think this is a really cool feature. I just don't think I like it because I like to move my PCI freely. I don't always keep it up and in like to that location. But again, if you're a new hitter, you have trouble hitting outlier fastballs, you have trouble hitting maybe righty sinkers inside, right? If we go to Mike Schmidt here, there he is. If we go to Mike Schmidt, and you have trouble hitting righty sinkers inside, you can keep it middle in and kind of sit on those pitches, then move your PCI elsewhere, wherever it's needed, right? I do think it's a great addition, don't get me wrong. It's just not really my cup of tea, but again, kind of practice with this, try to feel comfortable with it, and if it's your thing, you can use it, you can kind of take advantage of it. If not, you can just turn it off. So we talked about control freaks, we talked about monitors, we talked about settings, we talked about PCIs, we talked about PCI anchors. We got all that out of the way. You know how to hit now. If you're at the point of the video, you're feeling confident. We can hit moonshots, we can do whatever we need at the plate. But there's one issue. You drop your PCI, right? You're dropping your PCI all the time. Let's go fix that issue, right? So we're gonna go back into the hitting custom practice. Let's just keep, we might keep Mike Schmidt. I'm now looking for, I guess I could be a guy with a curveball, guy with a, it don't really matter. We'll use Tom Seaver, okay? We're gonna use Tom Seaver. We're gonna have all his pitches, but we're gonna put them at the bottom of the zone. What dropping your PCI means is you keep your PCI up, and instead of going to hit that pitch in that location, what you do is you drop it all the way like this instantly. So it's like this, you drop it instantly. Okay, he threw it exactly there. What is really supposed to be is kind of the pitch is supposed to be here, and you drop it all the way down, and you instantly pop it up, or you swing and miss. The key to this is what I'm doing right now. You put all the pitches on low so you know you're guaranteed a fastball. You put your PCI wherever you need it to be, and you just hit and hit and hit these low pitches. I really wish there is an easier way and I could be like, you know what? All you got to do is A, B, C, D, and you don't drop your PCI no more. But that's just not the case. This game is very hard. It is extremely hard to hit. It's the reason why not many people make World Series, right? There's only a select amount of people that make World Series, and that's because it's hard to hit. But you use all these tips, you practice, you play this game. The more you play this game, I promise you, the better you're gonna get. This is I started streaming July of 2019. I started making videos February or March of 2020. So I've been making content now for about 3 years. But really playing this game online, I've been like 5 or 6 years. My first 3 years of playing this game online, I was ass. I could not hit. I could only hit on BR. If I played on Hall of Fame, I struck out 20 times. Then I started streaming. I started playing this game daily, and I slowly got better and better and better. Then in MLB 20, I started playing a lot more ranked seasons. I started hitting World Series every season. And then last season, I made top 50. I started crushing the ball. Again, it's a slow process, but all you got to do is be patient with yourself. Keep practicing, practice. Again, there's just no easy way to say this. The more you play this game, the better you will hit, because you got to understand the different pitches, how each pitch moves, and all that. Once you comprehend all this, I guarantee you'll be a better hitter. If you watch this video and you really apply these tips to your game, I promise you they will make you a better hitter. So that's going to be the end of the video. If you guys have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments below. I'm gonna make sure to answer them to the best of my abilities. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We're about at 53,000 subs. Our goal is 60,000. So please, you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys learned anything new, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Let's try to hit 1,000 likes on this video. And as always, I would appreciate it if you guys can turn on that notification bell so you get notified when every video is live. And until next time, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. and I'm out.